Hello and welcome to the ATF Cast. That's anything that fires. Here we discuss firearms, science, the day-to-day, and whether you'd like it or not, we sure don't, politics. The bounds are unscribed, the beliefs full of dis, and the bifocals simply unacceptable. We are a pinch of halava and a heaping cup of I don't know what the fuck is going on. So, join us on the journey of nonsense and an attempt to learn more while we try our best to put on a smiling face, keep our eyes upon the moon, and ride the waves of entropy in this ever-changing world. We are the ATF Cast, and we're just having fun. I'm your host, Evan, and you're joined by our co-host, my dad, Matt. He's Halava Matt on the social medias. You can find him there. And our special guest today is Gunsplaining, otherwise known as SickNick. How you guys doing today?
SickNick.
Hi. What's up, guys?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Good to hear. You guys are looking fantastic. Rick, seems as though you're joined today in your car. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, the internet sucks at the house, and the 5G sucks at the house, so I drove down to the park to find service.
Perfect. Well, the lighting's
good
great.
Stuff. Oh,
You gotta
good.
be careful how you phrase that.
I bet I could get serviced at this park. Actually, I don't know. There's a lot of families that come around here, so maybe not.
Oh, good. Keep your doors locked.
Speaking of keeping your doors locked, pre-show, we actually had a little discussion about gunsplaining this week. If you'd like to tell us about your series of unfortunate events, we'd be all ears.
So Wednesday night, I got my car broke into and my EDC bag stolen. But like the cherry on the top of that was it was in the freaking church parking lot, which you would think would be a safe place, but not at all.
Not in this world.
The doors were locked, but I made the fatal flaw of leaving my bag on the seat where people could see it. Yep, that's my fault. I mean, it's not my fault that somebody's a piece of crap, but I could have been a harder target. I gotten complacent. I've been doing a little bit of like introspection recently, and it's like most of the things that people do. Let me start over. Most of the reasons that somebody's life sucks is a self-authored issue, and the reason I got my bag stolen is partly because I was a soft target. I've gotten complacent because nobody's robbed me in a long time, and I let my guard down. But I figured yeah, absolutely. It doesn't mean that being a hard target is 100% guaranteed that something bad won't happen to you, but you can mitigate your chances of being the victim by doing what you can to make yourself not look like one.
Well said. What did they get you for?
So I figure I was inconvenienced for a grand total of about $600, which includes the price of the window replacement. But they got me for a bunch of medical gear, probably about $150 worth of med gear. They got my EDC lunch kit, titanium chopsticks and spork and a Mora knife, salt and pepper. They got me.
They took the salt and pepper too.
Yeah, man.
Not the spices.
I know. I can't eat bland lunch. What is this? Third world China? They got me for. I got to like change of clothes in there. They got my underwear.
Not the SpongeBob ones, right?
No, just the plain gray ones. I don't even think. I don't even think there were skid marks in those. Those weren't even worn.
That's the true shame.
Yeah.
Clean.
You know what's funny? So like Wednesday, I got home from work. I went outside because it was somewhat nice out, and I filmed a video about my EDC bag. I took everything out, laid it on a picnic table, and walked through it. Stuck it back in the bag. Went down to the church building, and in an hour that I was in there, somebody broke the window and stole it. So I have videographic evidence of everything that was in there. It's going to be easy to rebuild the bag. So if you guys out there are watching me on YouTube, go look at that EDC bag and see what they stole from me.
I'll take a look-see, and I'll keep an eye out for all the products.
Yeah, I imagine somebody's walking around Groveport with an LL Bean bag. I'd like to beat them, rearrange their teeth, maybe.
Make sure it's your bag.
Right. Hey,
give that back, Grandma.
What color was the Trailblazer you broke the window out of? Blue. Oh, it was you.
Dang it! You always get me on that one.
Yeah. You got to ask the question in a way that they have no way of refusing. So,
Like with a pistol or no? We're good.
nah, I don't think I would have shot them. No, I'm sure I wouldn't have
No,
shot
you're
them.
not going to do that for
Not for my
stuff.
drawers. I mean, I'd like to rearrange their face a little bit, but they don't need to die because they stole my whitey tighties.
That's fair.
That's fair. Yeah, that wasn't a life-threatening situation. So,
Right.
yeah, exactly.
Right. Would like them to remember that they don't breaking people's windows and stealing their stuff is not a good life choice.
Do you have any plans going forward as far as increasing your EDC bag security?
Okay, so yes, I'm not going to leave it in the car anymore. I don't know what I'm going to do about work because taking it into a job site might be tough. But from now on, I cleaned out both vehicles. I don't have anything in either one except in the Camry. I have a flat of water bottles in the back, and that's it. Don't trust, in this car, yeah, there's a trunk, so it would be out of sight, out of mind. But if you break a window, it'd be really easy to get into the trunk after that. And one downside to, SUVs or vans, I guess, is there's really no way to hide stuff unless you have a tarp. But if you got a tarp, but it's lumpy, then somebody's going to think, well, maybe there's something underneath that I'd like to look at.
Well, if you get a tarp and you have enough EDC gear
Mm-hmm.
and you roll it up and tie it so it looks like a body, you just have it shoved back there.
Oh, yes.
I wonder how many people won't break in to steal it.
That's
You're
probably
have
a
a
good
different
point.
profession breaking your windows.
Right?
Sir, do you mind
No, there
answering
might be a
some questions
squad
for us?
car sitting there when you show up and you need to answer some questions. But you're like, listen, that's a
Right.
basketball, a backpack, and yeah, it's just wrapped in a tarp.
Yeah. I didn't want anybody stealing my crap again.
Hey, while you're here, I'd like to file a report from 6 months ago. Someone stole my bag.
Uh-huh. Oh, officers, I'm glad you're here. I'd like to report
Someone
a
killed
crime.
themselves, wrapped themselves up, and hopped in my trunk.
Yeah, it's like you want to report your vehicle stolen, but let the guy who stole the vehicle explain the body in the trunk, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's perfect.
Mhm.
Pops, how's your week been? Any misfortune?
No misfortune. Good fortune, right? Got gas earlier, sitting there, filled up. We decided we're gonna just go on in the gas station. We'll get Subway. So after fueling up, instead of pulling straight forward into the parking spot, I kind of zagged over to the side and parked a couple of spots over instead of just going straight forward. Got in the park, grabbed a little mask because, I don't want to breathe on anybody in public. And next thing I heard was a loud boom and an engine revving that the vehicle, if I had parked right where I was going to, probably would have sideswiped us and then into the wall of the gas station, shattering the window, knocking out brick and everything. Yeah, so that was good fortune that I did not park exactly right there. Let's see. So, I don't know. So, right after they smashed into I'm just kind of looking to the side like, well, let's go to some place across the way, right? So, and the manager of the facility, he walked out and looked at it and just looked totally like, I was supposed to leave in an hour. I'm going to be here till 9 o'clock at night now.
Man, I ain't get paid enough for this.
Right? He's like, man, I don't know anything about mortar. I can't fix that.
That's hilarious. Was that hole through the building?
Yes. Yeah. Punched all the way through. And I feel bad for the driver. I was going to say kid. He was probably 28. Kid to me.
Oh, I was going to ask if it was like some really old dude that was senile.
No. He looked extremely confused. He's sitting there like, well, his front end's in the building with his hands up like, what the hell's going on? Gets in reverse finally and backs out, and he's just sitting there totally surprised, hands up. I don't know what happened. I have no idea how I ended up inside that building.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he look
I don't
like he
know if
was on something?
No,
Oh boy.
no. He just looked shocked. He didn't look like, dude, I nailed it. Right? Yeah, he looked genuinely surprised and not intoxicated in any direction.
Poor
Well,
buddy.
one time I
Right?
drove through a garage door, and I felt a little confused at that moment myself. So,
Yeah,
Drove
but
through a
you're
garage
also
door?
Oh,
You're
have you not
what?
heard that?
No.
Oh, it's a
Was
Oh,
great
I don't know,
story.
13
Before or
or
after your brother
I was going
drove
to say
off
you're
the
12 or 13.
so. My brother drove off the loading dock
That's it.
much later in life.
Well,
I
the
was,
only reason he drove off the loading dock is because he had his lights off and he didn't see the end of it coming.
That's the best way to drive is with your lights off.
Well, we're trying to do
Oh.
stealth. We went to an abandoned children's home, I think it may have been. And to be fair, when we first pulled in, it was pretty dark. I even had my headlights on, and I was pulling through what used to be the driveway, and it kind of got shifted a little bit, and I like high centered my Buick Regal on a curb. And my cousin Christian and I got out. I was like, "Oh, that's embarrassing," and I was like, I don't think it's that bad, and got back in and just kind of wiggled the tires in reverse and caught enough ground, slid back off, and then not long after, maybe an hour, Christian and I get in the Buick and we're headed back home to the Walsh house, and just cruising, and actually I don't know if it was on the way back. I think it was on the way there. I had another fun Buick experience. We're going over, I don't know what road that is, but the really aggressive railroad crossing on the back roads in Louisville there. And I didn't know it was that aggressive. And Christian didn't decide to inform me until we were like, 10 feet away. I was going like 45, 55, somewhere in that range. I think in that Buick, I got about 2 foot of air. So, did a little jump, high centered on a curb. We go back home, no problem. And Christian and I walk in the door, and we're fully expecting Hunter to be there already because he was parked in like basically a real parking lot, and we were parked in what used to be a driveway. It was all overgrown. And we walk in the door, and everyone looks confused a little bit. We're like, I thought Hunter would be here by now. And they're like, nope. And then, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes later, we're all sitting there relaxing now.
You
Hunter
and
comes
Christian
in the
even stopped for Taco Bell or something, didn't you?
Yeah. We stopped at the gas station. I think I got some gas and we got some drinks. And so yeah, it would probably been like 30 minutes since we had left. And so we're sitting there like, I don't know, he's probably goofing off doing some hood rat Hunter stuff. And I don't know, 5-10 minutes later, he walks in the door silently, closes it behind him. He's still got friends outside. I'm like, you're not gonna hold the door open for him? He just closes it behind him and just stares at us, silent with big eyes. And we're like, I'm pretty sure you said, spit it out, boy. And he said, okay, so I didn't want any cops or anything to see us, at the abandoned building, so I wasn't driving with my headlights on, and then all of a sudden we dropped like 10 feet. And we're all just blank stare, a couple what? And this like loading dock in the middle of a gravel parking lot for a nursery that like was in front of the abandoned building. Just wide enough for the Jeep and about a tit-high drop at the end, so the truck can pull up and pull off all the flowers and stuff. So driving in the dark, it just so happened that he drove perfectly in line, centered on this loading dock, and then he said all of a sudden Benny Bubby was flying up and hitting the roof, and everybody was jostling around, and all he saw was ground, and then he bounced, slid off the loading dock, and was, completely shook.
That's
and
hilarious.
Traumatized and confused. So
I don't know where I am.
we go out there and get under there with our flashlights and start looking around, and nothing looks obviously damaged, but I'm pretty sure he had like a drive shaft issue or something after that, didn't he?
He had a couple little issues of all the bolts sliding across concrete as he's going. So the front license plate was just curled up and under. So
like old man teeth.
Exactly.
Yeah. So some people do worse than
That's
garage
hilarious.
doors or Put in a hole in a gas station, I suppose.
We used to live next to
Yes.
this really nasty lady. She was just mean. She was an old retired woman. She was the neighborhood busybody, and
Mhm.
she backed out of her closed garage door one time, and I thought that was so awesome. I never saw her much after that. I think her kids took her license away.
Yeah, I can understand that.
She was one of those people who, like, if she saw you outside and wanted to talk to you, she would go, which I don't like. You don't do that to anybody but like a 5-year-old.
Right.
She was like,
Wait, hold on. She did what? Oh, the come here motion.
yeah, with the finger, like the.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Sometimes we forget that this is primarily audio format.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Come here, boy.
Yeah, the She was nice.
It's a beautiful summary to the story.
And then one day I came home from work and her garage door was like kinked outward by 1.5 feet, and you can see her bumper coming out of it. Like, yeah, it's awesome.
Whoops.
Just beautiful.
Yeah.
So I don't think we've actually done a formal introduction for Gunsplaining here. You can find him on YouTube, making beautiful holster reviews and just videos of all kinds at Gunsplaining. He's also got the side handle SickNick on some platforms. I think I'd like to primarily discuss the YouTube aspect of your endeavors these days. If you'd like to tell us what got you inspired to start making YouTube videos and how long you've been doing it, and just a little bit of your backstory as far as making videos goes.
All right. So about 10 years ago, I put my first video on YouTube. It was a silly pistol safety check of a Glock 26. Like me and my buddy Kevin had gotten tired of every time you watched a gun review on YouTube, the guy who was reviewing a gun would make this elaborate safety check. I've checked the gun, so it's safe, and now I can handle it. It's like, I don't care if you're not being safe because you're not going to shoot me from the other side of the camera.
And it's more entertaining if there's a loud pop.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So we made a spoof video of that, and that was my first video. And like I said, that was probably 10 years ago. And a long time went by before I got back on a camera. But I decided it would be fun to make YouTube videos. So I did that for about a year and a half. Lost interest and quit doing it. A little bit later, I got another fire lit under my butt. So I started a second YouTube channel and posted videos on that for a while. And I got disinterested. That was right when Google changed their AdSense terms of service. So I had been making money on my videos, but then they changed the subscriber count to 1,000 before you could be monetized, and I lost my monetization. And it's not like I was making a lot of money to begin with, but it was a little bit of a morale boost or morale dump. But well, I got other stuff to do with my time, so I quit making videos. Fast forward, I don't know, a number of years to NRA show 2019, and I met Jonathan of Tactical Toolbox, and he and I started talking about stuff, and he inspired me to do the YouTube thing again. So I got home all pumped up and ready to go. So I started Gunsplaining, and that was the third channel I had. And I made videos on gunsplaining for about a year and a half, and then coming up on this like past holiday season, I never deleted the other two channels. And I would use them to watch videos to get my subscriber or not my view count up in the first couple minutes of my views or an upload. So I did that, and I, for whatever reason, got on the YouTube studio part of the SickNick channel, which was called something else back then, and I had almost 1,000 subscribers. So I thought, maybe I'll see if I can resurrect this channel and see if I can get monetized. And so I did. I actually got monetization pretty quick once I put my mind to it. And since then, I've been kind of migrating stuff over from the other two channels onto SickNick, primarily because I have more reach there. Once you get monetized, YouTube is more inclined to promote your videos because they're making money off the ad revenue that they're sharing with you. So That's where I'm at right now, is SickNick, even though I've got two other channels, one of which is Gunsplaining, that's still out there.
It's nice. What's your favorite kind of video to make on your channel?
Oh boy. So I really like
Shadow puppets.
Yes.
Over here.
Yep.
Sorry.
Sock puppets, and I can reproduce Hollywood videos.
Honestly, I would like to put in a request for one of those videos.
So
That'd be awesome.
That would be kind of fun. Gun reviews by Saki. Saki's gun reviews. Maybe we should make that happen.
I'll put it in the notes.
Perfect. So I really like, I've been calling them gun reports. Like back in school, you used to have to do book reports. So whatever gun I'm reviewing, I'll shoot some shooting footage, and then I'll write up like an essay about it. And I like to do like sarcastic takes on the thing, kind of like in the spirit of regular car reviews, but this guns. And I like those a lot because I can really focus on what I want to say before I turn the camera on. Sometimes if I just turn the camera on without knowing exactly what I'm going to talk about, I get like diarrhea of the mouth, and I just blather incoherently for 20 minutes. I'm like, well, that video is unusable. So I like the writing an essay. I think the video comes out cleaner that way too. But I have a hard time doing, like, I didn't do my EDC bag review that way because I think it's hard to do some things essay wise. But I think that might be my favorite. I like doing like gun music videos too. Those are kind of fun. To try to sync up like the shots with like the sound of the shots with, you know, the beat of the music. I enjoy that. I think that's a lot of fun. Those are hard videos to make, just because they're short. You know, a song is 2, 3, 4 minutes long, and that's it. So I don't make very many of those.
Are you practicing the cup song?
Yes.
I've seen that done a couple of times. They do it very well.
That'd be fun. No, I've never done it though.
That would be kind of awesome to see. Actually, you know, maybe I've seen enough of it. I've seen you do enough crazy things.
Oh, thanks.
How have you found your subscriber base to respond to your videos? Is it mostly warm and welcome, or do you have the frequent or even occasional kind of, ignorant fellow that hops in and starts talking shit?
Every once in a while I get a hater, and the haters are all the same, whether it's my channel or Hickok's channels. The haters are all the same. There's some person that has no videos of their own. They've never contributed in any way at all to the gun community. All they can do is get their rocks off by hating on other people. And I get some of those every once in a while. They think that they're all big and bad, and I don't really put up with them. I could probably have more fun with them, but I've got more important stuff to do with my time. Most of my views come from people who aren't subscribed to the channel. I get on your YouTube analytics, and it'll show you how many people, or like what the percentage of your subscriber versus non-subscriber view count is. And like, I think 3% of my views come from subs, but I've got, and it's not just me, but there's like a community of gun dudes that are like, I'm a part of this. And there's probably several different gun communities outside of the big people. But like the guys that I follow that are all in this circle, and like I follow them back, are all real supportive, and it's kind of fun. Cause you know, like dudes like Christian Grest he's always got the most like well thought out comments. He'll leave a paragraph of a comment on your video, and it'll be good. And you can tell he watched the whole thing before he made a comment. And that's cool. So I get, you know, not a lot of percentage wise of views like that, but those are the ones that make me feel happy.
Yeah, that's
You
great.
gotta feel happy.
Right. If you're miserable all the time, what's the point?
Oh, and doing this YouTube channel, is that one avenue for you to avoid that misery all the time? Because, you know, this world's been getting crazy. So is that an escape to you, or is that just kind of a hobby that, doesn't necessarily stave off the depression, but just is fun?
I think it's a little bit of everything. And if I could find some way to monetize myself, if I could find some way to replicate my full-time income with what I'm doing online, I would do that, because I think that entrepreneurship is good. It's important. And I'm an electrician in my daily life. I don't think I would let that go away, because that's a skill that people need. But if I could find a way to make YouTube pay the bills, I would do that. I have not hit that milestone yet. But I enjoy it. I have a lot of fun, and I do get a lot of escapism from YouTube. Probably more than it's a healthy amount. We all got to escape from time to time.
Good, good. As far as making all of your firearm content, where did your enthusiasm and interest in firearms originate?
Oh boy. So when I was little, and I'm like talking single digits, we used to make guns out of Legos. I don't know where we got the idea to make guns, but I remember Mom not liking it. And she told us we couldn't have toy guns and we weren't allowed to do, the Legos, or what are those other things that were like, oh, the kid toys that you put together, they're made out of wood. Anyway,
Lincoln Logs.
No, not Lincoln Logs.
That's all I got.
Anyway, we would make guns out of anything we could, and it always used to make Mom mad. And so there was like some sort of taboo aspect of guns that made me want them more. But then she finally caved at some point, and Dad had a few guns, but I love him, but he's a FUD. So we got him to teach us to shooting his 22s and his 12 gauge shotgun. And ever since I was a little kid, I've tried to do as much around guns as I could. I took all the gun merit badges in Boy Scouts. I joined the Marine Corps. I was a grunt. So I got to play with guns all the time there. And, I concealed carry. So I literally have a gun on me every day. I've been a concealed carrier for 10 years. So like literally the last decade and a half of my life, I've had a gun either on my person or in my hand every day. And I love them. I like every aspect. I like shooting. I put a polymer 80 gun kit together. I put some ARs together. I like building them. I like shooting them. And I don't know where it came from. I suppose it could have just as easily been motors or any other, thing with moving parts. Cooking, I guess it could have been cooking. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
But it was
different
guns.
ingredients and things. You start learning stuff, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It could have been any one of those things, but guns is what it is. And I have a hard time imagining my life without guns as a focal point.
Right.
Whatever.
Now, how old were you when you joined the Marine Corps?
22.
Okay.
I think I was 22.
And what was your job?
0311 grunt baby.
Nice.
I was a saw gunner, so I got to carry the biggest, meanest thing there was. The saw gunner was the best position in the Marine Corps because when it rocked and it was awesome and it would give you a chub. And every other time it was either too heavy or broken, and so you had the most legitimate reason to complain. Everybody else, man, this 203 is heavy. Yeah, well, shut up. I've got a 249. But they were, and I don't know what the Marine Corps is doing right now, but they were talking about phasing those out when I was getting out. So for a couple months, I had a HK Mark 27. And
nice.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with those anymore. I've kind of lost touch, but that was a cool rifle. It's not a saw replacement, but it's a pretty cool rifle.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool rifle. I couldn't see it replacing the saw fully.
Right. They the Lance Corporal Underground talked about them for a long time before we actually got them. And one of the rumors was it was going to fire fire full auto from an open bolt, and that never materialized. And there was going to be some way to exchange barrels, and that never materialized. So I imagine probably most of that stuff HK never had in mind, but they, how rumors get started. So we had to build up in our brain what this thing was going to be, and then it ended up not being that. Again, it's a pretty cool AR, but it's not a saw replacement.
Right.
What
was your favorite experience from your time in the Marine Corps?
Boy, okay, so we went to Dakar, Senegal, and so I got to spend a lot of time with the Gambian army, and those dudes have nothing. I mean, like, their boots were like sewn back together. You could tell, like, where the leather had cracked, and they'd put another piece of boot over it and sewn it on there. But those dudes were happy. Like, they were like legitimately happy. They didn't care because they didn't have anything to worry about. They just did their thing and lived their lives, and it was cool. And that was, I don't know if that was the most fun I've ever had, but that was the most, that's the thing that stuck with me most in my life. I think about those guys a lot.
That
Sorry,
sounds
my
like
nose itches. It's been
No
itching
worries.
all night. So Africa changed me for the good. I don't want to go back, but I'm glad I went. A cool day in Africa was like 95 degrees. I don't like winter, but I don't want to live somewhere where 95 is the low.
Right.
Yeah, I prefer the cold overall, so that kind of sounds rough.
I don't. Well, yeah, I haven't been really happy this last couple days because the winter's been like really turned the heat up, but not the heat. But I guess I don't know, between this and 95, that would be a tough one. I'd probably take 95. I don't know. Cold makes everything difficult.
Yeah, but you can always start a fire.
That's
Right?
true.
95.
Yeah, you can only take off
so many
so
clothes off.
right.
Mhm.
It's said a lot, but it's a damn good point.
Why are you naked? Because I'm hot. You can't walk down the street naked. Why not? I'm doing it right now.
You need to leave our Walmart. Get out of our freezer section.
Man, every once in a while we'll have to go to like some service call at a Pizza Hut or whatever.
Mm.
And in August, and you'll have to go into the freezer, and it's like, wow, it's nice in here. And then all of a sudden it's not nice anymore. It's
It's too cold.
yeah.
Shocking the system.
Right, being hot all day, then you go in the freezer and it's great for 10 seconds. Like, oh man, where's my beanie? Where's my winter coat?
So you talk about being a concealed carrier for say 10 years now. What has been your average favorite, your overall favorite firearm to carry concealed, and your current?
I think my favorite's my Glock 26. It is every bit a full-size gun in the areas that count, but it is a small enough gun that I can carry it in most clothing and still conceal it. It's I mean it's a Glock 17 shrunk down in so many ways. You can put full-size Glock magazines in it. You can fight with it like you can a full-size gun. But I think if you go much smaller than Glock 26, you're not a fighting pistol anymore. You have a get off me gun, and that's not necessarily a problem. I guess your situation dictates what it is, but the 26 strikes the best balance for me between a gun I can trust and a gun that I can carry even in gym clothes. My favorite, or I'm sorry, the other question was what I carry now. I'm carrying a Glock 19 right now. And people are starting to come around me at the park, or otherwise, I guess I'm not allowed to show it. Anyway, whatever. It's a Glock 19 Gen 4. I've got an Enforce APLC on it, a Magpul base Magwell, and right now, like as of right now, I'm carrying it in a JX Tactical Fat Guy holster because that is the holster that's getting reviewed this month.
Nice.
Yeah. Last month was A&R Designs. Next month, I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to do one a month. Probably at the end of the year, I'm going to be done reviewing them because it's kind of like, well, first of all, a lot of holsters are alike. It's amazing how many different companies follow kind of like one pattern of holsters. And that doesn't mean it's bad, but it's like you can only review so many of them before you repeat yourself. So I think at the end of the year, I'm going to go back to my 26 in my single clip and just be a happy boy.
Happy boy. Happy boy.
Yeah.
Boy.
I forgot about that.
I don't even think I know what you guys are talking about.
That's one of those tic-tac things.
Uh-huh.
Got it. What's your favorite carry position? And alongside of that, what's your favorite EDC piece of kit or tool that is not a firearm that you carry every day?
Appendix carry. I like appendix carry. I think that, well, okay, so it took me a long time to get onto appendix carry. For the first couple months, I wasn't a fan of it. I was always a 4 o'clock guy. But like, especially when you're sitting down, like I'm in the car right now. So if I was carrying 4 o'clock, I could get to my gun. I don't have my seatbelt on though, but like, appendix is always right there, whether you're in a car, you're seated, or you're out in public. I also think that it's like, even the the best holster with the best cover garment, sometimes you feel like you're printing with the 4 o'clock carry. Just like the way your belt sits on you, and you get self-conscious about it. I've never been self-conscious about appendix carry, because you can, if you get to where you think like, oh well, somebody sees it, you can just kind of like shrink yourself up like a bodybuilder.
To the gym.
Right. I remember Arnold talking about how you shouldn't like hide your chest. You should always, anyway. So like body posture is easier to hide stuff, I think, in your front. And fat guys too, you get that fupa over top of your holster. I don't have that problem, thankfully, but I like appendix carry. I think it's, now a year ago I would not have said it was as comfortable as I think it is now. Back then I would have said 4 o'clock was 100% more comfortable. So I think for a comfort standpoint is what you get used to and your individual body type. It's like there's not one right answer when it comes to concealed carry. You got to pick the thing, the gun, the gear, the position that works for your body type. And I like appendix carry, but I've gotten into it. Favorite EDC item that is not a gun is my flashlight. And it doesn't have to be an Olight, but that's what I'm carrying right now. But I use my freaking flashlight every day, all the time. I don't know if it's only because of my day job, but I use it a lot at work. But I even use a flashlight at home sometimes. Like I get up and go to work before my wife does, so sometimes I'll use the flashlight in the bedroom, so I'm not turning the bright light on and waking her up. But I never thought a flashlight would get used as much as it does before I started carrying one. But now that I've got one, I use it every day.
That was my exact same kind of experience with it. I didn't carry a flashlight for a while, and as soon as I started, I mean, I pulled the thing out probably 15 times a day. Whether it be at work to look in a dark corner, or same thing in the morning, trying to be discreet and not wake people up. And even when I get home, I
want to wake the ladies you love. That's sweet.
Yeah, they're nicer to you when you don't tick them off first thing in the morning.
Wake up on the right side of the bed, not the bright side.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
I'm a wordsmith. In the
That should be a bumper sticker.
Call us, Olight.
Yeah, for real.
We got you covered on stickers. Well, as we were saying, kind of before we started going live here, I did just about nothing for show notes, so this is all just winging it today. So as far as my questions for you, my freestyle questions are kind of running out. So I'd like to ask you if there's anything you would like for the viewers and the listeners to know about you or about your channel that we haven't asked you.
I try to make the videos that I like to watch myself. And it took me a long time to start doing longer form videos because I have a short attention span. But it seems like long form video is kind of the thing right now. I think it's kind of an interesting statement about where our attention span is. I think that
how long is a long form?
To me, long form is like 25 minutes or more. I suppose that long form officially, I don't know, it's probably like, Nothing Fancy puts out hour-long videos. Paul Harrell puts out 45-minute videos. I think a lot of those guys will put out half-hour, 45-minute long videos, and I can't do that. I don't watch videos that long very often. I like Nothing Fancy. I know he's a polarizing dude, but I like his content. I don't have the attention span or the time to spend 45 minutes watching a YouTube video. So I make shorter stuff because, last month was the A&R Designs holster. How much can you say about a piece of Kydex? Is it safe? Is it comfortable? Would you recommend it? And if you need a half an hour to answer those 3 questions, you're doing it wrong. If you want to watch somebody slow draw and shoot, that's a different type of video. I don't think that that's what I'm making.
Great.
These days you can't make them because it's hard to find that much ammo.
Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting from a viewer standpoint. I used to completely shy away from any video that was like more than 10 minutes. on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of a YouTube fiend, but here recently, I mean, YouTube has gone to the point it has so much to offer as far as like even documentaries and I mean, basically television style and production style videos out there. And like I find myself watching 45-minute plus videos here and there, and it actually doesn't often happen to be gun videos that I watch at that length because I think, as you said, there's only so many things that you are interested in knowing or really need to know about a firearm or a holster review that I don't often find myself clicking on a firearm video that's more than 20 some minutes.
Yep.
But a lot of other things I do, so I don't know exactly what that says about me because I do love guns, but
I watch a lot of
guns, but you also understand what they're already saying, right? I mean, you have an understanding of them saying, well, the balance of it, or it has a high grip, and you go, okay, what else do I need to know about it? Move along, right?
Right.
So, like you mentioned tactical toolbox earlier, right? And he doesn't just do firearms.
Right.
Doesn't he do automotives and
yeah, he's got another channel all about cars.
Yeah, so he can kind of balance in between a couple of different ways and keep his interest going most likely. That way he doesn't burn himself out.
Yeah. So that's interesting because I also don't watch just gun videos. In fact, I don't watch a lot of gun videos at all. I watch the dudes that are like mutually subscribed to each other because I'm interested in them. I watch a lot of car videos too. I watch Tactical Toolbox. It's called Torque Toolbox. I watch regular car reviews. His aren't very long. His are like 13, 14 minutes long. But I've heard a lot of other gun tubers talk about that too, that their YouTube watching doesn't really revolve that much around guns. I think we're all human. I'm having a hard time coming up with what I want to say.
Yeah, we're all human.
We're all human, duh.
Biologically.
Right. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is like we're multifaceted as far as our interests go. There aren't very many people out there who are interested solely in one thing, whether it's guns or cars or anything else. So like guns are a big part of my life. Yes. And I make videos about guns, but sometimes I want to learn. I was watching wood turning videos for a while too. Partly because it's fascinating, but also, it's something that's completely out of my wheelhouse as far as what I do in my life. And it's kind of cool to see. It's kind of cool to see other stuff. YouTube's got a video probably about anything you possibly want to know about. Sometimes it's fun just to let your mouse find its way through the videos.
And a lot of times that can be dangerous. Start going down the rabbit hole of something.
Find some scary rabbit holes.
I want to see how to actually make a Dakota fire pit. Next thing you know, you're in, how to dig your own bunker and be able to live, 60 people underground for the next 40 years. And you're like, okay,
right.
I need to come above ground again. So,
and the problem with stuff like that is like it's just cool enough to get you sucked in. Like, oh, yeah. I would like to live underground with everybody I know. No, wait a minute, stop.
Right.
I don't think I do.
and some of the gun videos that I enjoy, I don't know. I love all of them most typically, trying to learn something new or see something different, or you wasn't positive on a certain firearm, how to break it down or whatever. So tearing apart maintenance and things. A lot of the historic firearms are very interesting.
That's fun. Yeah, for sure.
Right. How they're manufactured and the durability of them. Right. They're over 100 years old and they're still rocking.
Yeah. That's fascinating
watching
stuff.
Some of the younger generation shooting safely, being taught properly. Right. Have you seen Autumn from Autumn's Armory?
Yeah, I follow her on Instagram.
She is awesome. Right.
Yeah.
I use her as an example. When my concealed carry students will ask me if, I don't think I can handle the recoil of this 9mm. So I'll pull up the little video of her holding two of them.
Yeah.
She's just shooting. It runs empty. She throws it over her shoulder, because it's out, and she keeps going with the other one. And she just like, he gets a nice smile at the end because she had fun.
Right.
Safely. I'm like, okay, this 5-year-old girl or 6, whatever age she was at the time of the video, she's firing a 9mm in each hand. I think you, as a 35-year-old adult, should be able to handle it with 2 grip, with two-handed grip.
So that girl's never been told she couldn't do something just because she was small or a girl or whatever.
Yeah, they shouldn't be.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's amazing what you can accomplish when you don't have people telling you that you can't.
Yeah, I've never told any of my kids or anybody that, no, you can't.
Right.
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 Might be like, hey, there's a little bit better way. Let me show you a little something, and that might help you. But I'm not going to tell them they can't do it. Right.
You start believing that stuff after a while. Even if you're obstinate, you're like, oh yes, I can. Eventually, enough of being told that you can't do something, you're like, well, maybe I can't. And then you tell yourself you can't, and then you can't. Then you really can't because you've told yourself that you couldn't.
Well, when you're told you can't, and then you're the first blind person to climb Mount Everest.
You're right. Exactly.
They're like, I bet you're wrong. So now, obviously, they had a guide, but still, that is an incredible feat.
Right. That's Jonathan Livingston Seagull right there.
There you go. I couldn't remember his name.
No, there was a book. Who wrote that book? Richard Bach? Yeah, Richard Bach wrote a book called Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It was about a seagull that learned how to swim. Because it's a silly story.
I was like, I thought you knew the guy's name. I'm like,
no.
Okay. I was like, impressed yet again.
Oh,
now
thanks.
You're just sucking with me.
No, I remember my grandma reading it to me. It was, so like he's a seagull, and all of his seagull buddies tell him he can't go swimming, so he teaches himself how to swim. They're like, oh, you can't do that. And they didn't believe it. They're like, he was doing it. He's swimming.
There you go. Like the little engine that could.
Yes. Exactly right.
The only thing I can think with the little engine that could is the Major Payne version.
I don't remember.
Chug it.
That's awesome.
Firepods everywhere.
That's fantastic.
Sliding back to the EDC thing a little bit, I'd like to know a little bit more about your EDC, Dad. We listened to Gunsplaining's EDC. What's your favorite firearm, your current firearm, your favorite side piece of EDC gear, and what's your favorite carry position? I think that covers all the bases.
Yeah, I mean, my most typical carry position is probably like 4 o'clock. But I like to carry the Glock 17, right? That's the firearm that I'm most comfortable with. I've had a Glock 17 since 1991, right? So when I grab it and present it, I am so used to pointing that thing. If I were to point over at a doorknob and then look at my sights, I'm pointing at the doorknob. So for a quick response firearm, that's the one for me, because whatever I point at, I'm going to get some rounds down the range, right? And I still want a visual contact, but it's the quickest to get up on target for me. SIG 226, Scorpion Elite, fantastic pistol. The grip angles are just slightly different, right? So if I'm holding my Glock, it's more forward, and the top of the slide is what I call tabletop. So if I just point forward, I'm going to shoot a target in front of me. It's flat, tabletop. If I'm holding the SIG 226 and I don't change my wrist position, I'm pointing low. I've changed the angle.
I just shot that Taurus PT92 for a while, and I was having that problem for a while too. Why is everything low? Oh, because I'm used to shooting a Glock. Yeah, that's a real thing.
It is. It's an absolute real thing. I know if I'm presenting a different pistol, like my HK VP9, I present it just like I present the Glock. It's a point shooter for me. One of the nice things about that pistol is you can change the side panels and you can change the back panel. So I figured it a little bit, so it points very well for me. The SIG, if I'm going to shoot that, and if I was going to carry that one, I know I have to push the heel of my hand forward and rotate my trigger finger, towards the sky, pivot my wrist upward a little bit so I can level that off.
Mm-hmm.
If I was used to that pistol and I rotated to the Glock, now the Glock is going to be lollipopping bullets up and over, right? So, no, the pistol I carry is a Glock, the Glock 17, carried around 4 o'clock. That's what's comfortable for me. At my job, I try out multiple different holsters, so I carry them in different positions. I like the appendix and everything. The Glock 17, I just think, is a little bit long for a belly carry, right? So, and that's my personal opinion.
I agree with that. It's sometimes a Glock 19 is a little bit long for that too. If you got the wrong clothes or the wrong holster, for sure.
Yep. So, appendix carry is quick, but up there a lot of times I have some type of knife. So, a knife is usually my favorite EDC, right? Besides the pistol, or knives, because it also depends on what you're cutting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's different knives for every job. I might have more than one on me. One's used for cutting open all the boxes and stuff through the day, or cutting open letters or whatever it is. Another one is the sharpest one, and it's more for a defense, right? So that's just me.
Nice. Perfect. Is there any piece of gear that you're looking to introduce you to your EDC, or just grab to toss in the range bag here coming up?
No, maybe a couple newer tourniquets, just because I've had a few for a while, and you practice with them or whatever and crank on them and check them out and things. They should get updated. So might just get some more medical. I don't need to get more medical because somebody stole it like they did for Nick.
Yeah,
Right?
Oh, it makes me so mad.
Maybe we'll get a care package together for you.
Ooh, you guys don't have to do that.
Well, you get like 7 shears in the mail. Everyone sends you the same product. You'd be like,
That's hilarious.
I'm good on shears for a while.
I can get ripped off 6 more times.
Just melt them down and make ammunition with them.
Hey, there's a good idea.
You'd be rich.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's an interesting thought. I'd like to answer that question too. Since I have to replace everything that I got stolen, disclaimer, I didn't get a gun or anything like that stolen, thank God. But all this stuff out of my bag, it's been real interesting for me to choose what I replaced exactly and what I didn't. And actually, it seemed like most of this stuff I just one for one swapped it. But there are a few things that I didn't replace. Like the Mora knife that got stolen was a number 1. So I got a different Mora knife. I'm a kind of a fan of these titanium chopsticks. I got a pair right here. So the pair that I had before were round, and I replaced them with square chopsticks because the square ones feel better in my hands. I hold on to them better. What else do I have an example of? I'm going to replace the medical stuff with different stuff. I had a 6-inch compression bandage, and it was like 6 inches probably good. But the thing was so damn huge, it's hard to find a bag to carry it in. So I'm going to shrink that down. I'm going to get a 4-inch this time. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. The multi-tool, I haven't replaced that yet because those are expensive. But I would like to get I don't remember what it's called. Leatherman had a pretty cool looking one come out last year. But they're like $100. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a Leatherman free P4 that goes 120-ish.
Maybe that was it.
I am absolutely obsessed with it. It's amazing.
I had a Swiss Tool Spirit get stolen. That was about an $80 multi-tool. It wasn't the best one they made, but it's pretty cool. I liked it. The fit and finish was good. It had a really cool finish on it. But I probably won't get another one of those. I'll try something different.
Yeah, that's fair.
Makes sense. You're going to upgrade or whatever, because as you learn what works and doesn't work for you, just change out. It's like
Yeah.
a lot of people when they first get a pistol, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever it is, they find out that that just doesn't do it. I like to have a little bit more of this or a little bit more of that. A lot of people want to start out with the smallest pistol possible.
Yeah.
And I typically say carry the smallest pistol that you can conceal, right? If it's going to be a concealed handgun, carry the smallest one that you can conceal, right? Or the largest one that you can still conceal, rather. And that way you have the most out of it. Because I guarantee anyone who's ever been in a firefight, right, or in a shooting in any situation isn't going to think later, you know what? I probably could have used a smaller gun.
I wish I had less bullets.
Right? I wish I had only 5 shots in this thing. Yeah.
Right.
So they'd be like, oh, I need something just a little bit more. Now, granted, being in that situation or being involved in being in a violent situation is hopefully never going to happen, right? But it is quite possible. Being involved in a mass shooting is more like being hit by lightning, right? It's very rare. So planning for that and being one of those people that have 3 guns on them and 150 rounds, that's a little excessive to carry with you every single day, right? Standing in line to get ice cream and that's just weird, in my opinion.
I think that's accurate. I think that's exactly right. The propensity to need
it is a comfortable middle ground, right?
Yep.
I like my Glock 17. I have 17 bullets in the magazine, 1's in the pipe, right? So I do carry 1 in the chamber. It's the way it was designed. I keep gas in my gas tank. I don't have gas cans in my trunk, and I just fill up when I'm going to go somewhere, right?
That's a good analogy. Yeah, I always wonder about dudes that don't carry 1 in the pipe. I just right. I don't get it.
Well, so some of them want to be safe. They're not comfortable yet.
Yeah, right. So there it is, and it's like,
fine.
I guess.
But as soon as you expand your comfort zone,
right,
you need to step into that comfort zone. Because some people are like, "Well, I totally understand, but I carry a Penix. I don't want to shoot my dilly dally off. I don't want the gun to go off by itself and shoot myself in the dilly dally."
I've heard so many people say that to me.
Isn't right.
Right.
Unfortunately, a lot of people would like to think that their dilly-dally is a life-threatening gunshot wound.
Right. It's not.
It's not, right? It's
certainly life-changing, I suppose.
Exactly. Life-changing experience.
Yes.
But it's not life-threatening. Femoral arteries would be more of a life-threatening situation. People carrying shoulder and then drawing across their chest and firing around through their own heart. Right? I mean, there's accidents can happen in many different ways, and try our best not to have that happen. A lot of people, they want to carry with the chamber empty. Some of the arguments I've heard is, well, the Israelis do it.
Well, the Israelis used to do it.
The Israeli counterterrorism team does do that.
Do they still?
So shoot 40 hours a week. Or
sure, right.
Practice, right?
Well, and the reason I heard that the Israelis do that is because back when Israel was first becoming a country, they didn't have a standardized service pistol. So they would get, Tokarevs from the Russians and Berettas from the Italians and whatever from wherever they could. And since no 2 pistols had the same manual of arms, they just standardized on everybody carry with a full mag and none in the chamber, and then everybody has to draw and rack instead of fooling with the safety or messing with a decocker or anything like that. Everybody's standardized so that if you pick up a Tokarev or a Beretta, it doesn't matter, or a 1911, you can use the same gun or use a gun the same way as everybody else.
Right.
You don't have that issue as a civilian. You carry, like, if you're a lucky guy like us and you've got a couple different guns to choose from, you might have, well, am I going to choose my FNS today or am I going to choose my Glock 26? But either way, the manual of arms is going to be similar, if not exactly the same. And most people only ever carry one gun, so they don't have that issue to deal with.
I typically carry one gun, but I do carry a couple of different ones. Any of the ones that I do carry do not have a manual safety that to try to remember to fiddle with if were to arise quickly. Also, every single firearm that I would carry would be fully chambered, right? Some people are like, well, if I draw, I'll be able to chamber and, be able to protect myself and my family. Well, let's say you're carrying your newborn and you draw your pistol to protect them. Well, what are you wrapping that with? Your teeth?
Right.
If you have the right sights, you can work it off your belt or your bumper or the assailant's teeth or eye socket if they're close enough, right?
Sure. But you're adding a lot of time to the equation that way.
Right. Are you going to drop the baby to the ground so you can utilize your other hand, or are you going to put the gun close to them so that you can rack it off your diaper, right?
Exactly.
Don't worry, boy. It's just a bruise. I'll pick you up soon.
You'll be all right. So as you get more comfortable with firearms and you expand your comfort zone, don't forget to step into that comfort zone.
Right.
A lot of people expand their comfort zone, but they're still afraid to step into it, right?
For the first couple of weeks that I was carrying, there was moments, or I guess the majority of time, I was actually carrying without one in the chamber because, first of all, I hadn't fired the firearm that I was carrying. So, even you do the safety checks empty, you're like, I don't know, I still haven't taken it to the range and shot it. So it is pointing at my precious. Oh, maybe that's not how I should put that. My dilly dally. It's going to use another way. So
pointing at a part of you that you don't want to hold.
Correct. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm new to this. I don't trust this gun. I'm gonna carry empty. But I understood as far from if you get in a pooper pucker situation, as you referred to, I didn't want to be fumbling with it. So I got to the range, got some rounds through it, learned that I could trust it, and got to carrying it in the proper condition that I think someone should carry a firearm if they're using it as a concealed carry weapon.
Exactly.
There's a time and place, I suppose, either if you're Israeli Special Forces or if you're just new and nervous.
Yeah, I think it's unfair to judge somebody by where you're standing now. Plenty of new gun owners probably aren't comfortable carrying with one in the chamber. But you're right, that is a thing. It's something you can easily train out of, so you should absolutely do it.
Like Colion Noir, he didn't carry with one in the chamber when he first got into firearms because he wasn't comfortable enough with that. I've heard him talk about that several times.
It's interesting.
Right?
I feel like such a scrub then.
Right.
And then he expanded his comfort zone. He stepped into it. So take those next steps. Take those steps to learn more, to become more comfortable with things. Take them slow if you have to. There's no reason into having to rush into something, right? So you wouldn't rush into learning how to parachute by yourself.
Right.
I think this is the way it goes. You want to find out the right information, get the right training. I think training is fantastic.
Yep. But it's something you got to do. You got to be proactive. Absolutely do it. Yep.
Yeah. I tell all my students, welcome to the world of concealed carry, where your conversations with your wife is now, well, what do we do in this situation?
Yeah.
What do we do if we're sleeping? What do we do if I'm in the basement and you're upstairs? How do we, those conversations are same conversations of what do you do if there's a fire? Right. Everyone gets out of the house and meets you at the oak tree in front so that we can get a head count. Right. So.
Right. Nobody thinks you're crazy for having those conversations.
Right. They go, well, that makes sense. Now if you're like, what do we do when the next hurricane hits us here in Ohio? Well, we don't get hit by hurricanes.
Right.
Oh, okay.
All right. So we're living in a
tornado
neighborhood. We need to do a fire drill.
Yeah. Yep.
If there's a hurricane that hits Ohio, I'm going to put my head between my legs and kiss my butt goodbye.
Yeah,
Wow.
if you're the first
It's giving up pretty
Ohio,
quickly, man. You know?
we all have more issues than just
That's what I'm getting at.
yep.
Look, I mean, at least if it so happens that there is a hurricane, I do have 2 floors. I mean, don't just kiss your ass goodbye. You can at least come over, hang out, man.
Cool.
Don't give up on me so fast. Is what I'm saying. So, talking about all this training, when's the last time you guys got out and did some shooting?
Well,
month ago, probably a month ago.
I teach. So every time I teach, I demonstrate how not to hold it, right? Show them how the gun will actually fail if you're not holding it properly, and then how to hold it properly and how to transition. And just depending on the class that I'm doing, I'm lucky enough to be able to get some trigger time, but as far as going to the range by myself and running and gunning, I don't make that much money to buy that much ammo.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Alone, it's hard to find these days, but I'm sure we are all quite aware of that.
Yeah. About
And fire practice. I still dry fire practice.
I do that a lot.
Yep.
In fact,
I do not do that enough.
one benefit of this holster review thing is it has increased my
draw.
My frequency of dry fire. So I'm at this park and they got the bathrooms closed off because it's winter. So I'm watching this dude walk around the side to take a leak on the trees. And I'm sure he thinks he's sneaky, but I know what he's doing.
I heard what you said.
That's right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt for that, but I just yeah.
No,
So,
I'm just glad you weren't whistling at the guy.
yeah. Hey. Yeah. So I dry fire a lot too because of this holster thing. Probably about a month. I guess that Taurus review dropped a couple weeks ago. So maybe 2 or 3 weeks before that, I got out and shot it, and then I shot my brother's HK USP, and that was the last time I shot. It's been too long.
Yeah. What about you, Evan?
Last time I shot, Thanksgiving, I think.
Ouch.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I guess it's not that long ago, but it's long enough.
Oh no, that's not true.
Christmas.
I shot last time I was up to a class with you to sit in and have some fun. So that was a little more recent. Hasn't been that long, and got some good rounds off. So
it was a little bit before Christmas.
Yeah. So it's still not great, but I'm hoarding the ammunition, and I at least try to do a little bit of dry fire. I definitely need to do more. That's something I'm slacking on, but it's in the books for improvement. So
I think most people probably don't, and I wouldn't if I didn't have a reason to. And I would sit around and tell myself, well, I should do this more often, but I probably wouldn't do much of it. So yeah, I'd say probably the majority of people don't dry fire.
I think what I do more than handgun dry firing is, my AR is sitting down in the living room usually. So I walk by and I'll be like, hey, good looking, and, make sure it's unloaded and kind of run around the house for a second. Like, it's just sitting there with all those expensive parts on it, just, begging for a little handling for a moment.
Yep.
It's fun to whip around, but I should really probably practice some draws and, do a little bit of handgun manipulation here and there. But that's why I try to keep my guns out. I don't have kids hanging around or anything, so keep my guns kind of laying around here and there unloaded, and I'll walk by and just kind of be like, you know what? Maybe I should pick that thing up and just kind of fumble with it for a second, go through the manual of arms, and so,
Yep.
it's usually the CZ that I'm picking up, even though my daily carry is usually my Glock 19.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's a nice shooter.
Yeah, it's always looking at me. I'm like, all right, come on, let's go for a walk.
Maybe you should carry it.
I would love to. I'm not usually real big on the 4 o'clock carry just because, I don't know. I don't like the way it fits with the tool belt as much as appendix. That may sound kind of counterintuitive.
Dude, I haven't been able to crack that nut either. I have tried so many different holsters and positions, and you take what is a perfect rig for concealed carry, but then throw a tool belt on, and it just blows it completely out of the water. Even if you find one that's comfortable, it's like, how do you get to it? And I don't have the answer. I really do not know. I think
my
probably the
setup
answer
is actually
Beard out more and do a behind the beard carry.
a neck gun,
it needs to grow out more.
necklace firearm.
Yes, perfect.
You can borrow my Beretta, try that out for a little while.
People talk about how they don't want to have a gun pointed at their dingle dangle. I don't think I want to point it at my Adam's apple.
Well, that's fair. That's what I was kind of envisioning, a downward facing situation. I don't.
like
Yeah,
a
I mean,
neck knife,
there's a lot of
but it-
vital situations going on in the
Uh-huh.
neck there, so I don't. Yeah, I'd be a little uncomfortable, even at 25.
Yeah, you don't want to
Yeah.
grab it. And,
Uh-huh.
Rick committed accidental suicide when he fell off a ladder today. Like,
Oh.
oh, that was my gun
Fire
too.
four
They're gonna
shots
take it
on
for
his way down.
months.
Ding, ding, ding. Like a bad Tom and Jerry video.
Mhm. Maybe I'll just get real fat and get a bra and use the flashbang holster.
Ooh,
There you
no.
go. I was gonna say you can just keep one tucked in a fold. Ugh, put some molasses on it, keep it good and sticky.
Mm,
It'll be like a bolt action, semi-automatic handgun. But
yes.
Well, you get fat enough, you just get the underbelly.
Yep.
Right?
Mhm.
That'll be your holster. You just lift it up and pull out that sawed off 12 gauge pump.
Like that dude on Instagram a couple years ago with the AK.
yeah, I'm gonna market that as the magic flap.
Blech.
Magic flap holsters. You just come to purchase one. We just go to Golden Corral for 12 hours
That's awesome.
once a week.
That's like South Park when they try to get Butters fat on the Chinese food so he could get liposuction for free.
Or microwave their balls so they can go get medicinal marijuana and
I
bounce around on
forgot
their
about
testicles.
that. Oh, South Park.
Good stuff there.
That's hilarious.
Has there been anything in gun news this week that you guys have, has grabbed your attention? Anything you guys want to talk about? I haven't really looked too much into it, but it kind of feels like more of a dry week aside from, the usual threats of
I can't think of
registrations
anything.
and things.
All the real heinous crap landed last week, right?
Yep. Yeah, we're just sitting here in a mild stew of anger this week.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a constant flow of idiocy dripping out of the mouths of many politicians and people that don't understand the situation. So
Mhm.
it's irritating.
Yep.
So
I think
primarily irritating news.
I know I've turned the radio off the last couple of days. I think I'm going to leave the news off for the next couple weeks. Just get myself a nice news reset.
That's fair. I did turn on NPR today because it is Jazz Sunday, and they're not talking politics. It's just
Fair enough.
succulent
good
saxophone and shit. So
Yep. Jazz Sunday. I haven't listened to that in a while.
well,
That's
maybe
good.
on your short jaunt home, you can give it a try.
Yep. The 2 minutes down there.
Tune in to Jazz Sunday on Anything That Fires.
Right?
Maybe
Keeps
that'll be
you
a
from
special
driving
episode.
angry.
Yeah.
That's true.
Until you get a really aggressive flautist.
Yes.
Ooh.
Hopefully it's not a skin flautist.
Hopefully not. So, aside from that disgusting picture and the irritating constant gun news regarding the restriction of our rights, there is one news story that's not firearm related, but as we talk about on Anything That Fires, it's rocket related and a little bit of space. Something pretty awesome happened this week when the 2020 Mars Perseverance rover successfully touched down on Mars.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
That's
I don't
pretty
know.
cool.
It is pretty cool. I don't know how close you guys are following this, but let's see. It touched down in Jezero Crater on February 18th. I think it happened about 3:50 p.m. our time. One awesome thing that's going to come out of this is the first time. I think it's the second time they've used this landing maneuver, which involves jet or a rocket-powered crane that descends the rover and then cuts its ties and flies away to crash elsewhere on Mars. So that being crazy in itself, they included some cameras and some microphones on this rover and its crane this time. So we actually got back on, I think Friday.
This rover takes up residence on Mars, the space station's next commercial resupply mission,
Oh, that figures.
and a new date for a commercial crew test flight. A few of the stories to
That
tell
is
you
loud,
about
old
this
timer.
fascinating.
The volume won't turn off.
Autoplay.
Damn YouTube! Is that even YouTube?
It's probably like, I don't know, some news channel.
Some crazy news channel.
Probably need batteries.
Oh,
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think it was Friday here. We got an image from the camera that was on the crane of it lowering the Perseverance rover onto the surface of Mars, and it looks crazy.
that's awesome.
Oh, actually, it's probably slide over here and do a quick screen share, so you guys can see us here. Share screen. So, woo! There you go. You get 1,000 of me real quick. So, I don't know if you guys can see that there. It looks crazy. So, we also got some images right off, color images, by the way, of the surface of Mars that this rover is going to roll around on for a while there.
That's cool.
Yeah, something else that's awesome is the NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. I don't know exactly when that went into orbit around Mars, but it's just a imagery satellite that's in orbit there. Actually, they timed it just right so that it could capture the faintest image of the Perseverance rover coming in on its parachute stage. So I don't know if you can see that there, but just the tiniest little glimmer of some human engineering landing on another planet.
It's craziness.
So this one is nuclear powered, and they're hoping to learn a lot with it. So aside from that,
I heard somebody on the news was speaking incredulously because they couldn't just fly their rock samples back to Earth just like that.
oh wow!
It's like, well, it's going to take a while. It's like, oh man, sorry.
Yeah,
we haven't done this before. We're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, the feat of them landing on Mars itself is crazy.
Right.
So like this landing, they use the same landing maneuver with the Curiosity rover. It as it approaches Mars, it ejects its solar panels and all of its flight communication stuff, and then barrels into the atmosphere with just its heat shield. And then it pops a parachute to start to slow down, drops the heat shield, and then out of that enclosure drops the rover and the crane assembly. And then the crane ignites its engines, does a little bit of a slow descent / hover, and then drops the rover from cables until it softly touches the surface, cuts the cables, and then flies away to crash.
That's cool.
So
it is incredible.
And, hopefully going forward here, they should be able to release the full video of descent coming up. I think their transmission rate is about 3.8 megabits a second, so super slow for color video coming back from Mars.
Like my internet at home.
Maybe they need to put a park with 5G up on Mars so that the rover can communicate better.
That's the solution. That's the one.
A couple days here, I'm going to get all that footage just streaming into my computer from you trying to connect at home. You're like, what the hell?
We need better internet. I've been saying it for the last. Well, actually, we've both been complaining at each other. We need to upgrade the internet. This might actually
what
be.
speed do you have?
I don't remember. It's whatever we bought when we got the house. So, it was probably good enough 3 years ago, but not good enough now.
Has it been that long?
Oh no! Like
yeah, it has.
A month later, your technology is old.
Yeah, you're right. So it's time we upgrade. I don't want to pay more for crappy internet. Oh well.
You'll have that on these big jobs.
That's right.
You don't have a choice. You have to.
Yeah, you're right. I am a YouTuber after all. How do I expect to upload these 4K videos on a garbage internet connection?
I don't
Right.
know. That must be in your 5-year plan then, huh?
Yes.
You start your upload on Monday so that you post every Friday.
Perfect. That's awesome.
So approaching an hour and 20 minutes here. I have a couple closing questions and topics for you guys just to kind of bring this to an end.
That's good. I just
It
got
is
the
Sunday
low
after all.
battery warning on my phone too, so there's that.
Perfect. Well, then
Yeah.
we'll do a little acceleration here. First off, I'd like to ask you guys if there's anybody new on YouTube you guys have discovered, you've been watching a lot of, and if you can, kind of give us a suggestion for something to watch here while we're bored and stuck inside in this cold polar vortex situation.
New gun channel or just YouTube in general?
I think we'll go YouTube in general.
So, okay, so like the guys I watch on YouTube are, let's see, Alpha Romeo 15. I like him. He's sending me a bag to replace the one that got stolen. He's got some gun stuff. So I just started watching this dude. He's a vlogger. His name is Adam the Woo. He's somebody that my wife watches. He does a lot of like Disney stuff, which is not my thing. But he also, so like he's from California, and when Disneyland closed, he started doing videos of other like famous California places. So he did a video about the band Weezer and like their early days and where they played their first gig and where they practiced, and that was cool. He did a couple other bands, and then just the last week, he drove from California through Texas to Florida in the Texas ice storm. So those were some fun videos to watch. Yeah, he doesn't need my shout out because he's got like 500,000 subscribers, but that that's what I've watched that was non-gun related recently.
Well, that sounds awesome. You should actually toss that over to me in a text or something because
Okay,
I lost my pen, so I'd like to check that out later.
I'll send her to you.
Thank you. What about you, Pops?
No, nobody new. I don't get a lot of time on YouTube. Answering a lot of emails and things like that. Busy at work. I don't know. Johnny B. He's doing really well.
He's blowing up.
Content. Oh yeah,
He absolutely is. I saw he has a show on the Warrior Poet Society network.
yes, he does. So Warrior Poet is always a very good go-to, right? John Lovell is very balanced in
well spoken, kind, great hair.
Great. Do either of you guys
Great,
have a
yeah.
subscription to the WPSN?
I do not yet have a subscription, but it is something that is on my list to do here soon.
I've been threatening to get one too. I don't have one. I think I should.
I think that's an
Well,
awesome
maybe
thing
next
he's
time
doing.
we meet, we'll all be wearing our Warrior Poet Society T-shirts, right?
Okay,
Great.
we can make that a goal.
Right.
Yeah.
So no, he has fantastic content, humorous. He's fun. He's serious, right? Talking about very serious situations and content, but there's always morals and everything involved, right?
Yep.
I haven't met anybody in the industry that is presenting things that is a flaming idiot or someone who is immoral. A lot of everyone that I met has high standards. They're family oriented. They believe in a higher power, right? Whatever that may be. And they're just very good people that are very polite to others. They don't want to do harm, and they don't want harm to happen to others. So there's a lot of great people out there. And kind of depending on what kind of content you're looking for. If you're looking for a fun, quirky, maybe not quirky, but a good gun review, right? Because you're not sure what you want to buy, Hickok 45, right? Go check it out. He's got to have a video of that pistol somewhere along the line, right? And he's very honest. He does. Hey, I'm 6'8". I'm shooting this little teeny tiny gun. Doesn't fit me, great, but it might be good for you, right? I mean, he's very honest on what's happening. The pistol functioned well. It's a little small for me, but it might work for you. Good job, whomever made the firearm. So, I don't know. I kind of jump around content, but those are Such, right? So
Yep.
there's some very good people out there, Mr. Guns and Gear and stuff. But a lot of it that I've been watching recently is Johnny B. So he's I like what he's putting out, so I'm watching it. He's got my eye and my ears.
Johnny B is an all-time favorite. I saw a picture of him for his most recent shower, whatever you want to refer to it as, in a helicopter. And
Mhm.
Yep.
I've always thought you were pretty tall, Dad. When I first met Johnny and he stood up from that table in the hotel, I said, "Oh, I was like, wow, that is a tall man." So
He's taller than you. I go, yep. Yeah, he's taller than me.
he's tall, he's kind, he's enthusiastic, he loves this industry, and he actually gave us a little bit of encouragement and pointers going into this. And we're only at episode 2, but I'd like to give him some credit and thanks for that.
Yeah,
That's
it's nice to have moral support.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
cool. I didn't know that you guys had talked to him, but I'm not surprised. That's awesome.
One channel I definitely enjoy watching, but as a friend and a viewer, I've been slacking on is SickNick and Gunsplaining on YouTube. But I mean, as always, I love your videos. I just need to catch up because I've been doing all kinds of crazy stuff, building a computer and whatnot. But my non-gun YouTube channel that I've really been obsessed with, I may have even mentioned it last week, but it's Ghost Town Living. This guy bought a abandoned mining town in Death Valley, Cerro Gordo mining town. And
That's cool.
he's been refurbishing it, and he posts a video every Saturday with his slow internet. Takes him hours to upload, but
Hey,
all
that
of his
sounds
footage
familiar.
is just absolutely beautiful. He's just he has a nice soft speaking voice. He's not annoying. He's always just talking about like kind of the poetic artistic side of like buying this town and living there. And the primary like life contact he has is some goats and some kittens that he brought in just to have a little bit of life and sound there. And he's going in mines and looking for genes and dynamite and things to put in his museum, and he's just building up this abandoned old mining town with this rich history, and preparing it to
Jeans
be
are probably worth more than the ore that would come out of there.
it's
right?
ridiculous.
Zero.
Those old Levi's, people sell them for upwards of $200,000.
I've
So
heard
he's been
such
looking.
stories.
Right?
But yeah, highly
ridiculous.
recommended. His videos are just beautiful. Like you don't even have to listen to him. Just the footage that he captures out in Death Valley is just gorgeous. So
That's cool.
He usually releases on Sunday, and it's a really nice way to unwind and prepare for the week.
Nice. What's his name again, or his channel?
It's Ghost Town Living.
I'll check them out.
Yeah, I absolutely recommend it. And the little final thing to ask you guys, in the world of guns and creation and your daily jobs, is there anything coming up this week that you're looking forward to? Any big plans with your videos, maybe doing some teaching, anything of that sort? Or is it just kind of a regular old week for you guys?
The HKUSP video ought to drop this week sometime. I've got just maybe 2 minutes worth of video to shoot, and then I got to record my voice. So see that probably, I don't know, Tuesday or Wednesday.
Nice. I'll be looking out for that. I'll actually, stay on top of it this time.
Oh, good.
No, I don't have anything that's exciting or exhilarating. It should be a normal week for me. Hopefully something exciting will happen. Maybe the sky will open up and light will come down with angelic voices and bless us with something entertaining. But we shall see what happens.
Good. I can't wait for that. See what happens, talk to you and call you old and listen to, hear the angelic shit that popped into your life through the week.
It'd be nice. Yeah.
Yep.
It's good being called old by you.
It is my favorite joke. It never gets old, unlike you.
It's better to be old than dead.
That's right.
Absolutely. My main goal for the week is to finally figure out how to streamline my audio editing situation I got going on for this, so we can actually publish onto the podcast sites, because the viewership or the listening audience of podcasts is never a primary on the video side. So I'd like to get us out there and really get this rolling. Show notes this week are going to actually be much more involved. This week I wrote ATF Cast episode 2, and that is as far as we got. So
At least you started.
this week. At least I wrote a header.
Right.
And next week you guys can tune in to join us with our surprise guest. It's not a surprise. It's going to be our buddy Ruggles. He's not a creator. He doesn't make videos or anything, but he's a good guy. He brings a lot of laughs to the table, and we're just going to ask him about his experience with firearms and why he enjoys some things such as rockets and whatnot. This is anything that fires after all, and look for a couple giggles from him. So looking forward to that.
Ruggles with the giggles.
Ruggles with the giggles. So anybody that's watching or may watch in the future, thank you for joining in and watching us, pick our greasy faces and watch people piss at the park. It's been a great time. A great time tuning in and talking with two of my favorite people in the world. So you can find us at Anything That Fires on multiple sources. And that's YouTube and Instagram. You can find Matt at Halava Matt on Instagram, SickNick at both SickNick and Gunsplaining. Definitely check out the YouTube channels. And I'm your primary host, Fresh Airway, on the Instagram. And if you're following the stream, it will always, for the time being, be at Fresh Airway on Twitch. So thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you join us next time also. And have a fun week. Keep your eye on the moon.
There we go. Be safe.